this video, we'll discover about 5 things you probably never knew about fear. For you to learn how to conquer your fear and turn your fear into courage, you must understand the science of fear. And this is what leads us to the 5 things you probably never knew about fear. Have you ever wondered why some people avoid fear, while horror movie buffs and roller coaster fans thrive on fear for pleasure? Here are a few things to keep in your mind about fear. Fear is physical. Well, you'll already have understood this by now, since it was already mentioned earlier that fear can be a biochemical reaction, triggering a strong physical reaction in your body. Fear is as well experienced in your mind. Once you recognize fear, your body starts reacting. There will be changes in your blood flow. You'll start breathing faster. Your heart rate and blood pressure will increase. Stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol will be released, and your nervous system will get alerted as your amygdala goes to work. Your body as well prepares for fight or flight, as you'll find it easy to run for your life or start throwing punches due to the changes in blood flow. Fear can make you foggy. Yes, fear can make you foggy. In case you're not sure about what the word foggy means, this simply means to be befuddled or confused. If you're a movie buff, you'd have a clear idea of what this is about. For example, let's say a guy is getting cozy with his girlfriend, and 3 armed persons force their way in. If that guy is captivated by fear, you'd see how confused or perplexed he would be. At that point, he won't be able to think clearly, and he'll be so melted that his decision-making skills will suffer. When fear happens, there are some parts of the brain that stop working, and there are also some parts that become very active. When fear sets in your body, the brain's area that's responsible for judgment and reasoning, the cerebral cortex, suffers an impairment. Fear can become pleasure. Do you ever wonder why many love it when they get caught up in stressful, fearful moments? People who are a great fan of horror movies, haunted houses, and roller coasters thrive on fear to derive pleasure. And for them, the excitement doesn't come just during the activity, but when it has ended, because their brain and body stay aroused as the excitation transfer process occurs. Pleasure is elicited as more of a chemical called dopamine gets produced during a staged fear experience. Fear is not phobia. Many tend to misconstrue fear with phobia, not knowing that these two are clearly different. For instance, you may be experiencing more than just fear if the thought of basking on the beach makes you powerless, traumatized, and terrorized. On the other hand, you may just want to avoid swimming in the ocean because of a movie you just watched. Simply put, phobia is a more complex version of fear. Fear is milder than a phobia. You may have a phobia if you see yourself taking serious measures to avoid rats, roaches, people, spiders, elevators, or water. When you find it Herculean to maintain a consistent quality of life, and your ability to function is being interfered with, this is when fear becomes a phobia. Fears are how you commonly react to objects or events. Fear keeps you safe. Yeah, that was clearly written. Fear does keep you safe. Unlike what you might have thought, heard, or believed, fear keeps us safe, and it's very vital that we experience fear. We all experience this natural and biological condition, fear, and even though it can have its negative consequences, it can also be positive and healthy because it's a complex human emotion.